What I've been teaching recently at this point is Virabhadrasana I. And a part of that is because I want my students to have a firm basis of these basic standing poses before moving into greater, more challenging poses later on. So join the fingertips in the center of the chest, bend your knees, inhale, exhale, walk or jump. And once again, wrist on top of the ankles is going to be the most important thing for me, for a person with absolutely no yoga background, and wanting for them to have this sense of fundamental alignment that they're learning. Now, turn the palms up to the ceiling and raise the arms up. And when we raise the arms up, we want to make sure that the outer armpits are also lifting. At least that's something that I look for within my students when they take this pose. And the base of the wrist should also be continuous with the small fingertip. Now turn the right foot towards the right side. Now this is a pose, because of the nature of this pose, surely we can leave the back leg unbothered, but what I want to do is have the back foot turning deeply in. So I tell the students to turn the back foot deeply in. And in the process of them turning that back foot deeply in, they've already begun a process within that back leg of turning the pelvis from the left side towards the right side. That turn has to come from the pelvis. What happens most of the times is the turn comes from the chest. We want the turn to come from the pelvis. So we want to accelerate the turning process at the pelvis, decelerate the turning process from the chest, because the chest does move quicker, easier than the pelvis in any event. Now I lift my torso upward, I push my fingertips up and touch the ceiling, and I bend my front knee and I form a square. I bend my front knee and I form a square for my Virabhadrasana number 1. I press down through the outside edge of my back foot. I tighten my back kneecap. Cyril, step your back foot up a little bit. Good. I tighten my back kneecap. I bend my front knee to form a square. And as far as the arms are concerned, I want my arms to either be framing my ears or to be behind my ears, but I definitely don't want my arms in the front of my ears. Now, from that position, I maintain my buttocks exactly where they are. I lift my torso and I turn my chest forward, and I reach the arms out to the side for my Virabhadrasana number 2. Back leg is straight, front thigh is parallel to the floor, and I'm always making sure that this arm isn't breaking the line of my deltoid, because I'm wanting to align the armpit to the fingertips on both sides. And then I sharpen the outside edge of my back foot, and I inhale and I come back up. Turn the right foot forward, turn the palms of the hands up to the ceiling, and then raise the arms up. And then inhale and grow tall. When I inhale and grow tall, I also want for my armpits to respond to that as well. Because usually people only grow tall from the top of the pelvis to the base of the armpit. But I also want that armpit to have a sense of continuity and a lift. And the base of the wrist should also lift up. Now from there, I turn my left foot to the left, and I turn my right foot deeply in. And now I turn my pelvis from the right side to the left side. And once again, I want to accelerate the turning on my pelvis and decelerate the turning on my chest, because the chest turns easily in any event. Now, what I often tell my students for them to get a deeper turn here is to, those of you who can do it, come onto the heel of your front foot. Come onto the heel of your front foot, and then from that position, turn more the pelvis. From that position, turn more the pelvis, so that you get a deeper turning process here in the Virabhadrasana number 1. Now from there, bend your front knee, form a square, let the front foot come back down, and let's take the Virabhadrasana number 1. I press down through the outside edge of the back foot. I lock my back kneecap to the maximum. I lift my back thigh up, and I bend my front knee to form a square. That front thigh should form a square. You should be able to sit on that front thigh. It should be so forming a square. And I lift the base of my wrist up, and I lift my torso up. And once again, the arm should either be framing the ears or be behind the ears, but not in front of the ears. And then from there, I sharpen my back foot. I lift my torso, and I open my chest to the front of the room for my Virabhadrasana number 2. My back leg is straight, my front thigh is parallel to the floor, and my shoulders have to go down. One of the places where people start to tense up when they're getting tired is the shoulders lifting. The shoulders go down and my triceps lift up. The shoulders go down and my triceps lift up. And then from there, I sharpen my back foot and arm, and I inhale and come back up. Pelvis in the center. Now I turn my left foot forward, I bend my knees, inhale, and I exhale, I walk or jump. Arms down, samastitihi. Inhale, and we exhale. So now we're going to go and take our Ardha Chandrasana. Stomp into the heels, tighten the knees and thighs, lift your chest, reach the arms, and lock the elbows. Join the fingertips in the center of the chest, bend your knees, inhale, exhale, walk or jump. Spread the arms and legs apart. Legs straight, torso straight, and arms absolutely positively straight. Take the hands on the pelvis for a moment, please. There is no part of me that is afraid of telling a raw beginner in a raw beginner class to lock their kneecaps. And a part of that is because for the majority of people who are coming to a raw beginner class, their knees aren't straight to begin with. So people have often said to me over the years, Michael, you're using this language, lock the kneecaps, it's so aggressive to the body. But the body who's receiving that language isn't doing a thing, because it takes a long time for a body that has been concretized through time to start to be responsive to words. So I say lock the kneecaps in my raw beginners class because their knees are already not straight to begin with. I say lock my kneecaps in the intermediate level class because they have a little bit more knowledge and they know that the locking of that kneecap is a more nuanced process, which involves tightening the front of the knee, moving the inner knee ligament back, moving the outer knee ligament back, opening the back of the knee. The intermediate students are having that knowledge, so I can just say lock the kneecap because they're already knowing that as well. And I can also say lock the kneecap to my advanced class because they don't need that level of verbal coddling for me to say move this one back, move this other one upward, because they know. So in a raw beginner class, I say lock your elbows, lock your knees, because for the most part, raw beginner students aren't even remotely close to having their arms or legs straight to begin with. Now reach your arms out to the side, and now turn the right foot towards the right side, turn the left toes slightly in, legs straight, torso straight, and arms straight. And let's take Utthita Trikonasana, bend from the pelvis, take the right hand down and raise the left hand up. And once again, in this pose, I don't really let people look up with the head because I want for them to focus on the sense of having both sides of their neck even. Now we're going to take Ardha Chandrasana. We bend the front knee and we form a square and take the right hand onto the floor behind the leg. Now I step my right hand as far forward as possible with the thumb in line to the small toe. Now I step the left foot beyond the center of the sticky mat. That leg has to go beyond the center of the sticky mat. And I like to put the foot flat. I like to put the foot flat so people can feel that this is a pose, leg stepping beyond the center of the sticky mat. Then I go onto the ball of that back foot and I sharpen that back heel and I raise that back leg up. And this is my Ardha Chandrasana. If I was teaching a raw beginner class for the first time, I would say, kick your top heel far from your body. Kick your top heel far from your body. Kick your top heel far from your body as you raise the top hand up. Kick the left heel away from the body. Kick the left heel away from the body. Kick the left heel far from your body as you raise the top arm up. And now bend your bottom knee and we come back down to our Utthita Trikonasana. Now, a part of why I'm only focusing on that one part of the body in that Ardha Chandrasana is because a raw beginner student doesn't have the ability to do a work of the legs and the work of the arm and the work of the torso and the work of the hips and the work of the ankle and the work of the top arm and the work of the head. They don't have that level of experience within themselves. So I focus on one part of the body that will keep them in that balance, which is the top heel extending. Sharpen the top arm, inhale and we come up. Pelvis in the center. Now I turn my bottom foot forward, which is my right foot forward, and I turn my left foot to the left, and I turn my right toes slightly in, and my legs are straight, my torso is straight, and my pelvis is in the center. And I'm making sure to align the arm from the palm of the hand to the armpit as opposed to with the top of the deltoid because I don't want the arm so high. I lift my torso upward, inhale, and I exhale, and I bend from my pelvis, and I take my left hand down onto my left ankle, and the top arm up to the ceiling. My legs are straight, my torso is straight, my arms are absolutely positively straight, beautiful pose, Mel. Then I bend the bottom knee and I form a square, the top arm stays lifting upward and the back hand is behind the leg. Then from there, I step my bottom hand as far forward as possible in line with my small toe. We don't say pinky toe because English is the only language in which pinky makes sense. In every other language, to say small toe, you're saying small toe, small finger. So we don't say pinky anything in an Iyengar Yoga class. We say step the bottom hand forward and align your thumb with your small toe. Now the back foot steps up beyond the center of the sticky mat, and we pause there because if we look in Light on Yoga, we see Mr. Iyengar having this as one of the plates in Light on Yoga as well, as a pose within itself to transition into the Ardha Chandrasana. Then I go onto the ball of the back foot, and then from the floor, I have to sharpen the heel and raise that back leg up. From the floor, I want my heel sharp. I do not want to bring a flaccid foot into the air and then sharpen the foot. I would like for my foot to be sharpened from the floor so that the sharpness of that heel is what holds me in that balance pose. So I charge my top heel far from my body. I charge my right heel far from my body. I charge the right heel far away from me as I raise my right hand up. I charge the right heel far from the body. I'm maintaining that leg in more or less of a 90-degree angle. I don't want to lift it so high. I charge my right heel far from my body and I raise my right hand up, and then I bend my bottom knee and I come down to my Utthita Trikonasana softly and silently like nothing happened. Legs straight, torso straight, arms straight, and my ribs are soft. Sharpen the top arm and inhale, we come up, pelvis in the center, wonderful. Now I turn my bottom foot forward, which is the left foot, and I bend my knees and I exhale and I walk or I jump. Arms down, Samastitihi. Inhale and exhale.